Gotham Chick, and today we're going to do some paper crafting. I'm a postcard collector also, and I decorate this special postcards from Loupaper. I regularly buy from her, and I will include a link in the description of where you can buy these gorgeous postcards. So they are illustrated postcards, and as postcard collectors, we usually decorate the back before we write the address on this side, put the stamps above here, and do our whatchamacallit, our dedication on this side. So because I have truly fallen in love with Lou Paper's postcards, I usually decorate it a certain way, and the crafty person in me kicks in, and I do it by decorating the sides, and I wanted to share that with you tonight. But first, I've got to quench the thirst. There you go. No wine, it's just soda. So what I do is I usually decorate the four corners. So she recently issued Nebraska, Montana, and Connecticut, and the whole package came with this card. I will also publish a unboxing, an unboxing, or an enveloping because it came in a package, unpackaging of the entire order separately. But for tonight, it's paper crafting, so we are going to decorate with our adhesive graphic borders. I use two types of scissors. This is a straight edge. I like this because you can line it up against the side of whatever you're cutting, and it will cut straight instead of cutting into the paper. I have found this very useful for that, for trimming. And this, however, is a very limited blade. So for finer corners, so when we cut the corners here, or when we cut the designs of the graphic we're going to use, we're going to need some smaller or pointed scissors. So these were actually, this was part of a set of three, and truth be told, they were bonsai scissors. But when I looked at it, very pointy, short blades, very narrow, so it can easily navigate corners. So these are the two scissors that I use. I do have variations of this one. It doesn't have to be pointy unless you're cutting into a lot of corners. So this one will do as well. So you can see that it has practically the same width or length of the blade, and that helps. Okay, so we're doing 8 of each. I am not sure I'm going to last through all 8. It's been a long day. I came from work, but I find this to be a very relaxing activity. So after what has been a stressful day, I thought I'd share this with you. And I also sent out a notification to my postcard group. I don't know if anyone will join us. If they join, they join. If they don't, it's fine too. And I'm happy to have you watch me at another time during the replay. So, okay. So like I said, I have these graphics which I have printed on adhesive paper, and I usually cut the edges on one side. So this is one. So just to show you, let's take this out. I usually don't do it this way, but for today we will. I'm trying to save the adhesive backing over here for my homemade washi tapes, which will be another video. So I used to cut, and I can cut if, let's say, I'm trying to save the stickers for another day, I would cut from with the paper intact. So all we do is we have to cut around. I mean, I don't do it perfectly. I just try to do as little of the border. I hope I'm not echoing. I think another mic is on. Okay. So, like I said, what happens is Here you go. As you can see, I'm just cutting around the border. And I think we will do this for Connecticut. Okay, that done. Let's take one of these, find the corner. There you go. Okay, and then we're going to, I try not to eat too much into the writing area, because this is really just to decorate. And what I do is I do both sides first. So we're cutting this too. So I really love the way she has come up with her postcard. She hasn't quite completed all the 50 states, and these are her newest releases. Of course, I always have New York, the state, and they are very much in demand, especially for those who like to collect the series. She also does non-state postcards. I'll try to show you a few in a while. And her illustrations are really very unique, if you ask me. I mean, if I had the talent for that, that would be great, but not as lucky. So I try to do less on this side, because this is where we will write the address of our recipient. So again, like I told you, you can align this to the side of what you're cutting, and it usually sticks. So let me just put this on the side for now, and then I'm going to show you how I trim. So you only really need the smaller scissors for the corners, but when you go into the body, you just need your straight blade. See? No damage. Okay, we're going to save that. There you go. Nice. And then here, sometimes you can actually use the straight blade also, but I'm being fussy. So there you go. So this is how the back looks. As it is, it's good, but I like to add more to make it like a frame, but I don't cover postcard and the Made by Loupaper in USA. That's very important to me. So we're going to cut portions of this to stick into this whole collage without ruining the design. And we try to cut around the edges because we don't want it to be a blunt stick. You'll see what I mean. Okay, so just enough to cover. It's practically invisible. Then we cut again with a straight blade. And then again on the top, we need a bit of buzz. We have from the other side, I think, not much there. So, or we can cut from this. So this was the extra. We only really need like a portion here. So we're going to just take this side. Oops, we forgot to sort of soften the corner here. We don't want it to be like a blunt paste up. Well, I think this is better on this side, so there. And you'll see after it's stitched, I say stitched, but after it's composed, you'll see that it looks like a flawless frame. Oh, my Coke, I think, stained that. Okay, so we're trying to get that corner I am trying to catch a 9 o'clock premiere of a friend, so I will fall silent then and just log on for a minute on the other phones so we can support her premiere. So for those of you who don't know yet, my main channel actually is a different on a different platform, a different channel. I am monetized on another channel. This is my passion project. This is my passion channel. So I basically do my crafts here, and then I do my actual, if you can call it, video creation on another sphere. Okay, Pinay New Yorker. Link will also be provided. So this is usually covered by a stamp, so I'm not too obsessed with putting that many flowers on that side. So there you go. As you can see, it totally transforms it and it gives it a different character. I like the way it sort of frames the postcard. So sometimes I'll do it like the same way, but for this one, we are happy with that. And then let's do another one, Connecticut again, and then we'll move to the next. So again, just cutting the edges. And we will create another one. So this is a seamless border I got from the web. I do buy graphics too. There's a very beautiful set of graphics which I will provide a link for when I use it, because this isn't the one, these aren't the ones, so we give credit where credit is due. Okay. So again, I start on the left side because this is where the main thought or the main body of the postcard is going to be at. Just a bit extra. There you go. Okay, I'm happy with that. We cut with our straight edge scissors. Oops, we have to take out the extra adhesives. It's cutting into that, and then we can actually, no, we won't do that because we want to keep it clean. So again, we're decorating my Loupaper postcards, which I will be sending off as a random act of kindness to the postcard group I am a part of, which is Post Crossing Philippines, and I have a couple of Loupaper collecting, postcard collecting friends who really try to collect what Lou produces. I don't per se collect her cards or the series, but I do collect the cards that she signs for me. So whenever I order, I make a request, can you please sign the back of the card, and I'll show you one of the autographed ones for this series. And that goes into my collection of artist signed postcards. So I do have an album of that, and even my artist friends who produce their own postcards, I don't hesitate to ask them to please sign the card when they send it. When I purchase from artists, especially during the pandemic, I tried to help out those small postcard producers who were on Etsy. I didn't, even Christopher Arndt, I did an order, and I guess it was a time when not many people were ordering postcards because postal delivery actually suffered a lot. So a lot of people stopped sending things through the mail, not just because they didn't want to send, but because the post office was refusing for certain countries where flights were not normal yet. So I did an order with Christopher Arndt, And I so love the sticky he sent back. He said, thank you so much for your generous order. He did sign what I requested to be signed, so I am always grateful for that. I'm part of his newsletter now. I've ordered a couple from the time that I first ordered, because he does lighthouses. I collect lighthouses principally, and also maps. So he does both, and of course he does feature New York. And again, I'm a fan of his art. Uh, he alters the photographs or the art, and then renders it a certain way which is truly unique to him. So you can see he has his own following in the postcard world. Ugh. And we as postcard collectors really appreciate what he has done, giving us more options and choices for postcards to trade with and collect. Okay, so let's see. There you go. I'm going to get rid of some of this on the side first. So, something that spilled. Sorry, I have to pause for a second. So anyway, as I was saying, there are certain series. I don't personally collect series because I'm afraid that if I got into anything in particular, I would end up trying very hard to complete it, and that would really derail my efforts to be more focused in collecting. So I do collect maps and lighthouses, basically, principally vintage and modern Philippines and New York and Paris. And in recent months, or in the last year or so, I started collecting vintage greetings from linen postcards. So that would not be the modern reprints, it would be the originals. They are available quite abundantly, so you can buy them for, say, $1. Sometimes I get lucky and I see a sale for 50 cents, but they can go for as high as, I'd say, $2 and more. I also started collecting religious postcards, so not a lot. And I'm trying to do real photos, but very selectively, because there's something I want to eventually do with these photographs at a later time. It's paper crafting, yes. And I'm hoping I can get on with that sometime perhaps next year. I just need to get this stuff together. Oops, I'm missing my Premiere, so if you just bear with me. I follow several friends online, and I have grown to really love being with these people. They're very supportive, and they've been very supportive of my journey. So whenever they have their own premieres, I try to support them, and I try to be there for them and help out. So I'm trying to catch the premiere of MBTV. She is currently doing a premiere of one of her resort videos. I envy her because she gets to go to all these fancy resorts for vacations with her husband, who's retired and whose passion is to relax and refresh, because he used to be a doctor, and it was really a heavy burden for him to be constantly on his feet and constantly on call. So he's really living the life, and she gets to go on these fantastic cruises, and these vacations. So I'm trying to encourage her to show more of the resorts and also say more about it. So if you haven't yet subscribed to her, I'm going to provide the link again in the description. For those of you who are trying to grow your channel, you can actually find support from her in her nightly live streams where she can host your premiere and bring people to watch you. So yes, she is one of the people also that I admire for how she's grown through her YouTube journey. I mean, I saw one of her earlier videos when she was starting, and I can see, you know, she's really jumped and done so much growing in the last year or so. And I really take my hat off to her for the kind of community she's fostered. Okay, so I'm having a problem with those little corners, so I don't know if it's my scissors, and we will find out. Let me just trim this. So far we have done one and 1/3. So we're going to finish these 3, and maybe we're going to move to the next design and just go back to this design later on. There you go. Is there anything usable here? I think the edges are, so we will save those for later, especially for that corner on top. So for this one, let me just find the edging. I think this can work beautifully on the side, on the stamp side. See, all this cutting and pasting, very helpful. That's what I like about crafting. It helps you relax. No stress. You do something that you like doing, whether it's crocheting, pasting, drawing, painting, whatever. You get to do something that you find fulfillment in, and also something that you see a finished product of later on. So I think that's something that we all look to, especially when we have repetitive tasks, or we have those work days where so much just happening and going on that you really need to take a break, a literal break. So here we go for a second. Is that cute or not? So I usually would put the stamps here, of course the address here, and then I write. I like writing on postcards. I mean, a lot of people love to decorate and just let decorations speak for the postcard. I literally ask friends to please tell me more about themselves rather than do that, because I want to hear about the person sending me the postcard. I want to hear your stories. So I actually started, I keep saying actually, I'm trying to drop it. I started a series of posts in the Facebook group where I'm giving postcard writing prompts. So for example, you describe where you're from or what you do, the town you live in. Another is you can describe the postcard and tell your recipient why you chose it or what it's about. Another is you can describe what you do or how you started postcard collecting. I mean, there's so many things you can talk about. So when people say they have nothing to say or they don't know what to say, I beg to disagree. It's just a matter of you wanting to say something to the person receiving your card. And it's postcards are really a means of communicating with other people. And I wish more people would see that and use postcard trading for that instead of just sending blank postcards. Oh, there was a time I got a postcard, nothing written on it, and it's like I was in total shock. And what shocked me all the more was that apparently it came from someone I knew who I spoke with and was close to in the group. And he just, I don't know if he forgot, but he says he didn't mean to send it that way. I mean, he was a little kid, sure, but still, right? So remember, postcards are supposed to be sent with a dedication, or at least a message saying something to the one who will be receiving it. So please, 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 and I keep telling people this, I don't care for special cancellations. What I really want to hear more about is what you have to say for yourself. Where do you what made you choose this postcard? I'm not happy about that. I don't know why I have that lump. Um, and just being more communicative about what your postcard is about. I really envy MBTV for her abs. The lady has abs. Anyway, her premiere is ongoing and she knows we are listening. So, okay. Oops. So let me just trim because we need just a small bit for the corner here. And again, this is for the end where the stamp usually goes. So we are going to put that here. Nice, right? Okay. So we have so far done 3. There you go. So let's do another graphic for the next one. I think this one we should do for this next one. I would like to do for Montana. My printer sort of hung on me. So, okay, let's do this. Is it a different color? No, it's the same. Okay. So this one I did a different way, but it's two-sided, so the nice thing is we can cut around, just leave enough white. I think it's the smaller. Okay. And then we do the same on the other side because we can use both sides for the border. Depending on how much of this piece we end up using. Okay. So we're doing this for Montana. It's borderless, but it does seem to have a side. So we're going to do this to here, which will leave us a lot of, I'm trying to do half and half so that it leaves us something to use on the other side. So see, that is pretty, but will give us some clearance to decorate on the other side. Okay, so this can be one of the edges. If what I did pans out, I think we can even use this side now for the other edge. So this is a simpler border. Oops. We have to reposition it a bit because it was slanting. and showing some of the white on this side. So yeah, it worked. There you go. Very pretty. So we can cut the corners now. Oh, we didn't even have to use the smaller scissors for the corners. The flat blade scissors actually is working very well. Okay, like I said, position the blade right next to it and you can trim the excess off. So this is what we have. I'm trying to decide if I like that or am I going to add more. So for the smaller end, we have this flower. We can put where this is, so we can actually do this here. And you can see, because it's a seamless border and the design is very fluid, it just disappears into the one next to it. So that's the idea, and that's what we're trying to do. We want to be able to sort of make the border look like it's all connected on the four corners and that we then patch it on top of each other. Okay, so this time we need to do the smaller bits. And I didn't even realize this would work. Maybe if I had printed the graphic a little bigger. Then it would have been able to cover more, which is fine. Like I said, I just want to compliment the artwork of Louis Newman, who is behind Loupaper. And to do that, I like decorating it so that it even looks more stunning. So we need pieces for the top. For this one, I think I'm going to use this other big flower. Not the blue, because the blue is really very prominent there already. You can see I cut it that way, and we're only going to use really half or not even. So we can do that, and then we can try to use this other half on the other side. Okay. Premiere over. Okay, so this one we can, it's perfect. I can actually just paste it there. This will be covered by the stamp anyway. But I still want to make it holistic, because if it's a domestic recipient, it will be a single stamp. So you don't want it to be sticking out like it was part of, it was an unfinished side of the postcard. We just need a little bit, a small flower for that side. And, okay, I don't mind, I want to say sacrifice, but I don't mind putting this at the corner, so it's just really the flower. And we'll take that leaf. And again, we'll put it here. Oopsie. There you go. So that's our first completed Montana. It's not quite as pretty, I think, but maybe if I used more of the flowers, because I was sort of scrimping on this one. So let's try to use just a bit more on the sides. And then we can go. I was just checking how long those 4 took. I'm trying to do the live streams to help with the watch hours. I am not actively trying to monetize this channel, but it would be nice. I consider it, like I said, my passion project. So whether it's monetized or not, I will create content for it. You'll see me here hopefully more and more in the coming days. I'm trying to revive that creative side of me, and I'm quite happy. I've been looking at my supplies. I've taken out my craft paint, and it's just so sad that a lot of it, well, not really a lot, maybe 20% has dried out. Only because I had used up most of what was in the container a while back. So I was able to produce something out of it before it dried up. And I also discovered Mod Podge actually sort of doesn't dry. What happened was it's subtle. So half of it seemed like it had separated, which was so weird. But then when I saw it, I tried to shake it to make it combine again, but it didn't seem to work. So lesson learned. Well, Mod Podge is not that expensive, so I wasn't totally heartbroken, but you know, I hate wasting crafting materials, especially when it's because I just didn't touch it or didn't do anything with it. It's not like yarn, which you can stash, and I have a lot of yarn. At least with yarn, what happens is that you can put it away, go back to it another day, and produce something nice with it, right? So that's something I'm hoping to do. There you go. Yeah. And then this one I think is done for. This one perhaps we can use on the stamp side, since there's not much. We'll use that later because we need to do the sides first. I always do the sides first because that is the whole arm of the graphic that we use on that side. So we use the blue here, so we're going to use the pink on this side. It stands. So while I can do it this way, it sort of defeats the design because the design has the blue flower looking up. So you have to pay attention to details like that. Did we pay attention to this? Yes, we did. Because it would look funny if something that was meant to be standing turns out to be upside down. And yes, it does happen to us crafters a bit. It has happened to me. And sometimes I just shrug and, you know, I don't sweat over it. So we are still continuing. Here you go. So like I said, we're going to use the pink side for the other side. This is our second Montana card. I am cutting both edges because they can be used as trim or whatnot. So we're going to find, let's see here, is good. Somebody is, hi Queen Bee, thank you so much Queen Bee. I didn't see that you were there, sorry. Thank you Edders. Thank you for joining me. as moderator. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. It's my relaxing hour. I would love to have had music, but you know, we don't want to get hit with copyright claims. I'm reading now. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't see it. I have you on another phone. I do have my camera up here, but I do have a phone on the side, and I was getting so engrossed in pasting my stickers. Thank you so much to everyone, Edders and Queen Bee. So I've been a crafter forever, but I'm new to crafting on YouTube. Oh, that's all right, Queen Bee. I'm going to check out your page and your community. Uh, Eder, sorry, I'm Filipino, so I can understand Spanish, but I don't speak it fluently. I did study it once upon a time. And my last name is actually a Latino last name, and I'll give you a bit of trivia. If you see an Asian with a Filipino with a Spanish last name, must be Filipino. We were a Spanish colony for 333 years, so a lot of us carry Spanish last names. It's part of our heritage. Okay. Oh, Queen Bee, I'm gonna check you out. Like I said, my main channel is really all about New York, and that's over at PINAY.NEWYORKER. That's where I monetize. This one is my passion project. So I'm here to craft because I love crafting, and this channel has been around for a while. I just really haven't. Thank you. I haven't really had the chance to grow it. So what I've been doing is I'm trying to put content here so I can share my crafting ideas and my crafting projects with people like you. And I'm learning a lot in the process too. So I've been checking out other communities. So thank you for stopping by. I have your handles here, so I should be able to visit you later. So we've done 2 for Montana. We'll do another one before we jump to Nebraska, and we're going to do 2 or 3 of New York. I'm from New York, so I send out a lot of New York postcards. Oh, Cuadernos, you are asking for books or notebooks? One of the things I want to do is also decorate. I want to decorate a bunch of commercial journals that I got. You know how you go to a seminar and they give away, or a conference, and they give away all these notebooks? My boss has been giving me the ones that she gets because she doesn't really like using the ones that don't have our company logo. So I have a ton of those to fix, and I'm thinking that would be a good idea for people to use on their own handmade journals. Son stickers headers para cualquier proyectos como lo que él está haciendo ahorita. I will do translators. I'm from Central California. Hi, Queen Bee. So right now it's 6:30 back there. I'm in New York, hence the Gotham. So it's 9:29 over here. I came home from work like at 8 o'clock. I had dinner with my son who's in university, but he stopped by the city to see me and give me something, and I gave him something as well. And going home, you know, I was tired, but I was also sort of like all strung up. And I have always found that decorating or crafting is something very relaxing, especially when I need to unwind. It beats just sitting in front of the TV and watching my latest Netflix streams, which I do a lot too. I mean, it helps, but whatchamacallit, it helps, but crafting really is, nothing beats crafting. I'd be crocheting now if I didn't have these postcards to decorate. I have several work projects which are works in progress. Oh, for notebooks. The cuadernos I know is notebooks. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to understand. So this one is a good way. So I do intend to use these stickers or something similar to decorate those commercial journals. I think I have one or two here. I can show you what I want to do. Oh, here. So for example, this one. I have like maybe a dozen of these, and I want to be able to decorate the covers, use them as stickers or decoupage. So this is my number one problem. This is actually a moleskin notebook, and it's so beautiful because it has no lines. So this is one of the projects I'll be working on in paper crafting. I have maybe like I said, I probably have a dozen of those. So that's one of the projects that you can look forward to here in the channel. I'm also going to do more of my art journal. I stopped doing art journaling for the last 2 years, which sort of broke my heart, but you know, life tends to get in the way, and I do have a day job. So I can't craft as often as I want. I really have to carve out time, but lately I've come to realize that I need to carve out time because, you know, we need to make time for ourselves and do the things that we love to do. So see this one, I think that's a good. So, okay, there you go. Oops, I should have cut that out. I don't mind. I mean, I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to art. To me, art should be spontaneous. It should not be all rules. And we have to be able to create freely without pressure. Okay, so I'm going to just cut out that pink because that's going to destroy the continuity. And you'll know what I mean when I put it here. See? So it folds easily into the border. And this is easy to do if you have a repeating pattern. So you just have to print the graphics several times. I don't buy these stickers. I actually print them. I'm sorry. I think I'm burping. I hope people are not hearing my disgusting burp. So right now we are looking for something to put on the side, and I think this will work nicely. So as you can see, I just, you know, I work with what I have. I try to add as I go, but there you go. But and like I said, these are the scissors that I use because you can put them against the side of any material and they will cut straight. They will not cut into the actual paper or material. So we're still lacking that space. I'm trying to see if I have any extras here, and I don't. So we're just gonna have to wait for the next. Oh, I just found it. So I have this, which I think I can cut that way. So you just need to find somewhere to cut where it will look seamless and it doesn't, you cannot just put blunt corners. So like you cannot put this side because it's going to be obvious that it was pasted onto it. So it's like a collage of border stickers there. Okay. I can understand. I actually can understand written English, Spanish. I just cannot speak it. They follow you. I am so I am so grateful. I'm going to really check you guys out later, both you and Edders. I'm sure you are fantastic crafters. I wouldn't say I'm a novice, but I'm new on YouTube. So my vlog has been here for a while, but I haven't really been vlogging. I was more of a watcher. So I watch other people do their crafts and I try to learn from them. And then a friend of mine said, "Oh, but you can do so much. Why aren't you going online doing your stuff?" So, okay, so this is how Montana came out to be. Connecticut is over there. And now we're going to do Nebraska using these. So we're going to do 3 first, because I don't know that I can keep going. Okay, so we're going to cut again. And like I explained earlier, I use smaller blade scissors to do the fine cutting because the straight blade scissors will not be able to handle all the curves that we want to do with this pattern that we have. And we're not cutting too close to the design, just enough for us to cut around the shape. Okay, so that's the first. These labels are 2x4, so they're more or less almost like exact. And for this one, I don't try to use the other half anymore. I just lay it out like that. There you go. Very pretty, huh? And then we're going to cut it again, and then we're going to do the border around. So I don't do this for all my postcards. I only really do this for Loupaper Postcards because she's the artist. Very beautiful postcards. I don't know if you can see. So this is like one of her illustrated postcards. Freestyle art. No, I can do Google Translate. Don't worry, ladies. And I think art transcends language. My first language is really Filipino or Tagalog. I was born and raised in the Philippines. I moved to New York 23 years ago. I still have an accent. I know I do, and I don't pretend like I don't. I consider myself the forever tourist here in New York City. Oh, Edders is a man. Oh, mi amigo Edders. Me llamo Gotham Chick. I can read better than I speak, so you can, I can fumble my way through. Oh, Queen Bee, there's a lot of us back there in California, I know. But the funny thing is, I've been to LA, and I found it fascinating that people and signs actually were in English and Spanish. And even the Filipinos I saw there, they spoke Spanish fluently. Oh, Queen Bee, you are the rock star. 9 languages. I try, but I have to admit sometimes, if you don't really get to practice it, you lose it, and it's very hard to acquire another language or dialect. So I love watching people do their art online, and I love learning about the crafts that I do. So I'm a crocheter. I am trying to sew again. I consider myself a crafter, not an artist, because, what do you call this? Well, true artists for me are those people who can draw like stickers like this or graphics like this, and I can't. I really can't. You can read sa regular pero hablo, but you cannot. But to speak and understand only certain words. Did I say that right, Edders? So, like I said, we don't want to do corners when we put it down like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut sort of like, I think I'm going to have to cut the green portion and just cut the flower out. Because we want to keep that portion that says made by Loupaper in the USA. She is really such a good artist and very humble at that. She always signs my postcards. So there, see? Unless you really look, you can't really see that there is that gap over there. So it's very important that you cut around the design and you don't just leave it like put blunt edges or corners there. There you go with the straight scissors again. So another thing that I'm trying to do more of is, like I said, my art journal. I do a lot of, wait, I'm trying to see where I'm going to put this. This one I think can go there, but we have to cut the big flower out and sort of create that. And then we're going to like, so I think I have to cut this side out. So it's never the same. I like how I don't stick to a pattern. And sometimes I render the stickers in clear labels, so you can actually see through. It comes out a little thinner, and it even looks like sometimes at certain angles it looks like it was printed. I know how to read, write, and speak French. Oh, I'm a Francophile too, but all I can do is count in French. No, it's very important, I think, that you're able to practice with somebody who speaks it fluently. So like I tried to learn Russian. I didn't get very far. Right now, the only one that I can really say is privet, which is hello. And I have a Russian friend. I have a friend who speaks Russian fluently, and he always laughs when I try to say something because it comes out so broken. And I mean, I think that's something we are never too old to learn. Wow, Queen Bee. So you have a community. I'm going to look for the community and try to see what you guys are up to. I'm a little wary of joining communities, particularly because I'm afraid someone will feel bad that I didn't join their community or did not become a member in their little circle. But I do participate, and I try to join live streams and and support premieres. But mostly with my other channel, like I said, it's the one all about New York. I don't like the way that came out, but then the stamps are going to go there. I can understand what you said. Okay. So I think it's very interesting how a lot of people are brought together by YouTube. I mean, even just for us Filipinos, I am so surprised by the number of Filipinos from all over who are coming up with their own channels. People from all walks of life, literally grandmas, those working in construction, truckers, they're all on YouTube, and it's a nice way to bring people together, I think. Ta-da! So this is our Nebraska postcard. So if you can see this was rendered by Louis Newman. Her store is called Loupaper, and I always ask her to sign 3 of each design that I purchased, and she was generous enough to sign this, and she signs every time I buy. And she's a watercolor artist, illustrator, and I love the way she renders what is representative of each state. So she hasn't completed the 50 states just yet. And she always comes up with this thank you card. She's on Etsy, so it's loupaper.etsy.com, shameless plug, and I am not getting any I'm not getting any consideration for that, which is okay because I love her. I love that certified nerd. Oh, you and me both. When I was even younger, I was considered Miss Goody Two Shoes, and I was a little verbose, and people used to say I was very wordy. But later on, that's what proved to help me get along in school and the things I did. So, yay to the nerds like us. Lo bueno es que tu contenido puede llegar a más personas, en cambio el mío es más pesado. I will get by. I mean, if I get lost, say in Mexico, I think I will survive. I did venture out to Chartres in France with nary a word of English besides oui and excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. And of course, the minute I opened my mouth, they knew I wasn't from there. But people used to think that they didn't like Americans. I'm not American. I'm very Asian looking, actually. And I tell people that they're not afraid. It's just that they don't speak the language. I actually admire the French for that. They're very nationalistic when it comes to their mother tongue. It's a very beautiful language. Again, I tried, but I didn't go further than counting to 10. And, short phrases. Those are my passions. Okay, so we are going to do the edge. Okay, so this is a bit tricky because the label is like 4 inches. So there's really very little clearance, and her card is always 4 by 6. So we're going. This is our second Nebraska card. Now, if you can see, there's a bit of the trim in excess, but all you have to do is like put the straight blade scissors next to the material and you will see it there. See, it's very clean, and the blade will not cut into the card. And we'll do that again for the other side. And we will keep going. So Queen Bee, what notebooks is Edgar's talking about? Is it the journals? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Thank you so much for stopping by, Queen Bee. Oh my God, I have to pull out my Spanish textbook. So, thank you. I do need to turn on. I think I need to go back to you. There you go. So we're just gonna keep doing this for today. And like I said, I'm trying to relax. Whether anyone is there or not. I don't know if it's the cutting of the stickers that's relaxing or the trimming, but it does a lot for me. So let's just trim the edge off of this too so that it's easier and we can go straight. I think I want to cut the edge here already because this can be one corner. Thank you so much. Just getting late in New York. It's like almost 10. Maybe I'll go for another half hour. Again, just for the, not even for the watch hours. I only have how many subscribers for this one? Like, I think I have 150 something, which is fine. So we need to get enough for this side, and I think I need to cut. So you just have to be conscious of, like, for example, you don't want to just cut straight through that. You're going to cut around the flower and around the leaf. Oops. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, but we do want to cut out those pointy ends because those will stick out. So we'll put that here. You'll see what I mean. See, so no pointy ends, so it just blends into the design beautifully. Okay, there you go. And then we'll do the same thing for this side, but we only need, so I think we can use this side of the flower, and then I would just cut that flower out at the corner and start from here. And then do that, so we can get rid of that. And we only really need up to the orange flower, so again we're going to cut out the rest. So, you know, once you get the hang of doing the sticker collage, you'll see that it becomes effortless to decide which part of the sticker to keep, which part of the sticker to let go of. So see? So now we want to put, we need a bit here, but I think it's too much effort to cut around that, but maybe we can do something for this, but we need to cut out that sharp edge. And I think that would work. Let's see. I mean, even if it doesn't on this side, we can be more forgiving because this is the side where the stamp goes. So I actually don't really have to put anything there, but I just think it doesn't do justice to the entire design if you leave something like that hanging. Okay, we still have this, and I think, okay, I think I found a solution. We are going to cut through that flower over there and just, is it too small? Too small. Okay. Nope. Okay, Queen Bee. So I was asking, what is Edders trying to do? Is he trying to do journals or notebooks, cuadernos, or books? Sorry. I am trying to understand our friend. So see, as you stick it, sometimes there might be folds, just press on it and it will flatten. I do use washi tape also, but I think this is just a more elegant way of decorating a postcard. No, I don't really take a lot of time. It's just that mucho ahora. Eso de los libros virtuales PDF. I am lost. I'm so. There you go. Let's do this. No, Queen Bee, I was asking about what book he's talking about. He was talking about how stickers is popular. Oh, first I don't buy the modern stickers because I don't like them. I think that's why I use this sort of as a collage, and I don't use it as is. I actually create sort of the piece with several of the same. And that's what works for me. Because if you buy like a sticker sheet, you don't get to use everything. Thank you so much, Edders. Uh, I think it's better when you make your own. Like I make my own washi tape. And what I do is I use the backing for this. So this is adhesive backing, right? I put masking tape. So the only thing is that not all masking tape reacts to ink the same way. Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. So most people who decorate their postcards actually use washi tape. I don't like washi tape too much. Oh yeah, they still do stickers now. A lot of kids still do, and now we even the grown-ups decorate their water bottles with stickers now. So it's like, okay. But like I said, I really don't like buying stickers because sometimes they're too expensive or they're not the type or the graphic or the size that I want for what I want to use it for. So that's where the notebooks came in. Okay, oh, let's try to move it so that it actually overlaps and there's a smoother corner there. So most people will use just stickers on their postcards. Let me see if I have any I can show you. I don't do it because I don't like the way the washi tape. Oh, so for example here, this is how some people would decorate it. It's pretty. I mean, it's washi tape, but I just I don't know, it doesn't appeal to me. So I don't mind receiving it, but I don't like sending it. Oh, true. Virtual books, yes. Because then you don't have anything to hold. But kids nowadays still do their notebooks, so they still have their own things to pretty up. Now kids do it to their laptops. I've seen a lot of kids do that and decorate their laptops. I need for that side, but I cannot do that flower, so I'm going to cut around it. I know that too much has changed with modernization. That's where your art comes into play. I think I see so many things that people do now with like pouring, and then there's resin art. But I still go back to the older forms of art, like just painting or mixed media that appeals to me. I like watching people do their art and apply it to what I do. So that's why I want to revive my art journal. My art journal is basically a lot of cutting, a lot of watercolors, but not the watercoloring like these designs. It's like watercolor, I'd say, being used as backgrounds or as graphics. I like doing a lot of that in my art journal. And I call it an art journal because it's my own personal art. I show there what I do, what I want to say, my moods. I love a lot of fold outs. Yeah, I don't have a Dollar Tree nearby, so that's a struggle for me, but I do love Michael's. I go to Michael's a lot. The nearby Michael's just closed, which of course broke my heart. And I'm hoping there's Joann's would open. Oh, but I love watching those too. It's like whether it's a work in progress or just seeing people show me how they came up with a piece of work or just showing us what they've come up with. I think that's very generous of you to share, and that makes ordinary people or crafters like me very excited to try to do something, not exactly like what you're doing, but something similar. So we have our 3 designs. So this is the first. This is Connecticut. I'm going to New York, which is my state, before I go back to the others. But I am going to try to do this with another set of graphics. I have a whole book. I keep these graphics actually in a book. And whenever I need something, I pull out something from it. Which I now have to find the small stickers that I use, if not the binder that contains it. That is so amazing, Queen Bee, but I think that is the mark of a true artist, because there are people who learn how to do art. So like me as a crafter, I try to copy what other people teach. But those who can really do art can draw without learning that, oh, this is the proportion of the face, or this is how colors are supposed to be combined. And yet whatever they come up with, it's like, wow, you are lucky. And I think it's very important that you keep crafting and keep doing your art and sharing it with us, because it really inspires a lot of normal or regular people like me. Find great inspiration in artists when I watch what you come up with or what you do. And I think that's really very inspiring. And you don't know that, people probably don't see it outright, but that can really make a difference in people's lives. Like, I may not be able to do what you do, but I can try to do something that will make me feel like I am almost doing or nearly doing what you're doing. I am not making sense. Okay. Oh, here are my washi tapes that I made. Okay. So the trick is to find the right combination of masking tape and ink. So this is actually masking tape that I take onto empty adhesive bags, and then I printed graphics. I purchased the graphics online from Etsy, and I purchased it, and instead of using the tapes that most people buy, I use these. So I plan to use this though in my art journals, not so much in my postcards, because for postcards I prefer to do border stickers like what I just showed you. Okay. I am still trying to find the other stickers for that border. So we might end up not doing New York today because I cannot find my stickers. Let's see, 10:03. Maybe we're going to do 2 hours of this. Okay, or what I can do is I can just continue using the blue on the New York, because I think I have enough of this graphic. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I can use the same graphic design for all the postcards. So there, let me just, so that's what we were trying to do. We can try to do New York in this sticker, or we can continue and try to do New York using this beautiful blue border, this one. Okay, let's try to do New York using this. So of course I give away New York. New York is my home state. What do you call this? I have been living here for 23 years. I love that it has nurtured my crafting inclinations. And there's really so much to see and learn from here. There's a lot of artists who are very generous with their instruction, and there's always so much culture and art activities happening and going on. Okay. So this one is for our New York postcard. I owe some people some cards, although I just realized now the other side is prettier. Anyway, we can do this for this side. Oops, too far. So I usually do it against this side so that I can see just how much clearance I am putting between the graphic and the edge. So that's too bad. I have enough of the graphic there. And then we can cut another for the other side. But I want to do it's actually the same on both sides. So whether I use this or the other one, the design is practically the same. It's just that there's less of this dotted flower on the other side. So there is a difference between the two sides. Doesn't really matter. There you go. So you just let the scissors zigzag around the graphics. Be careful not to cut the graphics out, but you know, if you do, you can always do something to hide that when you do the collage. Okay, so for this one, let me just put this down. We are using this side because I wanted to show this the opposite side from the other. And we are going to use just a little more. So I think that should give me enough clearance. There you go. I love the sound of that straight blade cutting through paper. There you go. Very clean. There. And again, our issue is the sides. We are going to pick out which flowers we're going to put. For example, here at the bottom, I think I'm going to pick this out and then cut through to the white flower and just cut that out. And then we can put that here. And cut again. There you go. And then we're going to do the same for the two other corners. I think this one would serve well on this side. So we can cut through this flower, round it out. There is a point corner, but then we needed that. And we are almost done with this. We just need the tops. For this one, to me, is most important because people tend to look at the top of the postcard. So we want to find our corner flower, our corner arrangement. And I think we can do that using this. Just cutting through. And then maybe sacrificing the white flower and cutting around that, because that's going to cut through the postcard sign over there. Straighten before we put it down. There you go. And then we need for this side. Oh, thank you. This one and this one, but the big one, no. This is Staples. It was on sale. It was a set of 3. I am the mother of sales. I'm always on the hunt for a good bargain. Okay, so for the smaller ones though, like I said, these were whatchamacallit, these were actually bonsai scissors. Oh, I don't, this stickers, I made this, but the stickers usually would cost, the good ones cost around $2. So I printed this. I didn't buy this, but the ones that are for sale are usually like $2, $3, depending on the size and how much or how many. They come in pads, or sometimes Staples now sells them. Michaels and Staples sells them in kits of like $15 or $20, but they come in like pads, so it's very rare. Michaels does sheets, so that's our New York. See, so it's very important to me that I keep the made by Loupaper in the USA and the postcard label obvious or not covered. So that's how I like to do that part of the card. I think I have time for one more. I'm getting tired. I tried to do the live stream for at least 2 hours to make it worth my while and your while. So this is a set of 3. I bought this in TJ Maxx, and it was like, oh no, Home Goods. These are bonsai scissors, but when I saw it, I said, oh my god, those would be perfect for those tiny detailed cutting that you need to do for paper crafts. So now I have 3 of them, and they were like, I think they were $8 for the 3, which was not bad considering the quality. They're very sharp though, and they take some getting used to use. So some people might want to use them for sewing, but I like them for the way they are able to go through the corners. And the smaller the blade, really, the more agility you have to do fine cutting. Where's Edders from? I thought he's not in the States, is he? Where is Edders' country? Are you in Mexico, Edders, or in Spain? ¿Dónde eres tú, Edders? Oh, that's part of my very limited Spanish, so don't try to get me talking too much. Yeah, I actually use adhesive labels. For crafting, I think it's very important that you're able to do what you want, because it's hard if you have to buy. I don't like spending so much for my crafts, so I try to make what I can Or like my washi tape, I told you I make it from my own masking tape. I print it. Oh, Peru. You know, one thing that I found interesting about Peru was I didn't realize that they had a very big Japanese influence. You have one very expensive restaurant here, which is called Sensakana, and they boast of Peruvian Japanese cuisine. And that's when I found out. And then I realized one of your presidents had Japanese ancestry, right? One of your former leaders had Japanese ancestry, and I think that was the first time I heard that there's a big cultural influence, Japanese cultural influence in Peru. Saludos a Peru. Sí. Yeah. See, that's one thing I like about YouTube. It brings people from everywhere together. I mean, Facebook too, but it's in a different, I think, to me, it's a different realm, and it's a different animal altogether, like we used to say. It's different. It's not the same. So again, we're going to go cutting with our straight blade scissors to trim. I like the scissors because once you're getting into the edge of the paper, you actually feel it and you can stop before you cut. There you go. There you go. I just need, oops, wait. Sorry, I just needed to answer a text. Okay. There you go. Okay, so we did the two corners. See, it's much cleaner because I'm getting used to the cutting. It gets easier as you move along. Oh, I'm really going to check you out, Queen Bee. Might not be tonight because I'm really exhausted. But I will check you out. And again, I thank you and Edders for stopping by and joining me tonight. I will be ending in a bit because it's 10:18 over here. I can keep doing this. You know, sometimes how you get lost in doing something. Oh yes, I am aware of that. I will check out what you guys have going. Sometimes I can keep going on and on and on for like maybe I'd say through the night, but I have work tomorrow. It's a work day in New York City. I work in an office. That's my day job. So I don't really get to craft much except at night, which is not a bad deal. Or the weekends. Over the weekend, I did a lot of home stuff. I just stayed home. I told my friends, I was a hermit over the weekend. I didn't plan anything fancy. I didn't go outside. And there are a lot of good communities out there. It's just that I haven't had a chance to explore. I have been, like I said, more focused on the other channel. And there's a very big YouTube community among the Filipinos that I try to be a part of. Although I can't always be there because we're 12 hours ahead of, no, the Philippines is 12 hours ahead of New York. So usually the time difference makes collaborations or other projects a little hard to pull off. But we try, right? You got the connection, right? A lot of people say, why Gotham? I said, well, I'm from New York, and Gotham is actually another name for New York. A lot of people don't seem to make the connection. I said, well, you don't watch enough Batman. If you watch Batman, you'd know about Gotham City. So at the start, it was a question of, do I say Gotham Chick or Gotham Chick? I said chic, I think, is too much of a claim on being fashionable and being a fashionista, which I don't consider myself to be, and that wasn't the slant I wanted. But I am from New York, so I said, I think that will work for me. That's why my tagline is crafting and dreaming, breathing from New York City. So that's my channel craft tag. Voilà, Linnea. Okay. So we are almost done with this one. Am I going to do one more? So again, we're going to, there. I think that's good. And you can actually change the way it goes. Maybe we'll make a third. Somebody said. So if I weren't doing this, I'd be in front of the TV streaming Netflix. But sometimes it's hard to be in front of the TV and be productive, so you tend to focus on what you're reading. Did I freeze? Why is it frozen? Okay. Or is it freezing me because I'm 2 hours now? Okay, so I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, low battery. That's the reason. Oops, sorry. Oh, there you go. Bye. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who watched, and hope that you can catch my live stream again next time. Thank you both.